welcome back to Kikao. And just before we took the break and went to find out what's happening across our world, we were talking about the Finance Bill 2025. And just before we went on break, one of our very own here, Hanif, one of our guests, was about to drop his views on us. But before he does that, let's sample some of the feedback we've received from you, our people watching us from home. We've got a chap here by the name of Lucas. He says, and I quote, you should bring the conversation to the grassroots also. Even if those at higher institutions of learning struggle with the concepts of taxation, you can only imagine the chaos at grassroots level. That's Lucas. Borura Frederick from Donholm, you're saying nothing positive about the finance bill. Njuguna from Loitoktok, you say, and I quote, kupanua tax base, how come M-Pesa kila transaction, nalipia Safaricom, imelipa license kwa serikali, ili wafanye biashara, why not tax them, na sisi tunalipia kila transaction? He's also saying, how come then watufuate tena tulipe kwa bank, kila flow ya pesa na katwa, bank wao pia wanalipa serikali, why then nifuatwe kwa account yangu? VAT tax pia nalipia kila commodity, why hii yote? Fafanueni tuelewe. This is Francis Njuguna wants to know, why is he paying for his transactions? Why is he paying for these transactions? And that, one more a bit of feedback. Somebody is saying he's watching, George, wait, what's your name, sir? Benson Tuva, watching from Gongoni Msambweni in Kilifi County. He's following the conversation on finance bill. Jeff is also following the conversation. Jawanga, you're saying, aka Rocky from Kaloleni, you say, following Kikao, talking of Finance Bill 2025, as Kenyan, we still don't have trust with our current leaders. Proper utilization of public funds is what they lack. High taxation and empty words without action. Can they give a report on from 2023 to 2024? This is a question that Rocky from Kaloleni is asking, and he says, they show us how lavishly they live, yet Kenyans are suffering. Of course, these are just some of the views that are coming in, and we'll be able to sample them. Please keep it right here. We are happy to connect with them. But now, let's connect with my co-presenters, Elizabeth Mutuku and Hibak Said. Liz, just before we went on break, Hanif was about to unload, or rather offload, his views on us.
Yes, the greatest question is on public participation, and young people have been accused of not taking part in the public participation process. Hanif?
First of all, my name is Hanif Bashir once again, and I'm a law student at Mount Kenya University. On the issue of public participation has obviously developed. I was given an example of avenue and venues. First of all, last year, we expressed our opinion, especially on the X app, which the government confidently ignored it until the drastic what happened in 26th June. Also, my natural perspective of public participation, I had this example in mind. I was given an example of a member of parliament in Roysambu constituency, whereby you're at the floors of the house voting for a yes to this finance bill, while the roundabout at Thika Road Mall, which is Roysambu, we have some protesters, not only a small group of protesters, but a very huge group of protesters. The Senator Sifuna even clearly said that, how do you vote for a finance bill while clearly where you are seated, you are able to hear gunshots from outside the house? Then you come and tell me that public participation was done, but in real sense, how was public participation done when your own people outside the house are saying no while you are clearly saying yes? And that's the time we question the integrity and the sincereness of such members of parliament. Again, as I said, public participation is just, it evolves. If you want to find the young people, you cannot mix a 60-year-old man and Hanif Bashir at one avenue and try to find their views. I can't go all the way to my home village in Mandera County. I go sit along with a 70-year-old man. Let's meet at avenues whereby you can hear the views of young people, you can hear the views of such, let's categorize people. Last year's demos was mostly centered along the young people, whereby the young people felt left out. Some of the reasons why they felt left out is because of some of systematic problems, such as public participation avenues, public participation procedures. These were some of the reasons why the young people decided, you know what, let me get out and show the government that my views must be heard as a Kenyan citizen, and I'm a Kenyan citizen. So
I have a question for you, if you may. A public participation exercise, like for example, the one that's coming up in 2 weeks' time, on 27th, on this very matter of the finance bill, is something that's provided for in the law. This is an avenue that's been provided for all people who have something to say about this, they can go. So are you saying that this avenue that's been provided for does not suit the young people? Are you saying that another avenue needs to be created? And perhaps if I may ask you directly, are you going to give your views in this upcoming public participation exercise?
The public participation, I'm going to give my views as a person who has thoroughly read across the bill. But if the public participation does not capture my views, that is the question. What is the outcome of this public participation? I gave you an example. Gunshots were being heard outside the parliament while you as a member of parliament is voting yes to the bill. Can you sit and justify to the whole world that yes, public participation had occurred? Public participation occurs in various ways. Number one, you can get the simpler views. Where do you get the simpler views? The young generation is mostly found in the digital spaces. What if a member of parliament takes to the digital space? We have digital spaces whereby you can hold spaces up to millions and millions of people from our constituents and ask them, excuse me, what is your views on this agenda? But if you say that, you know what, let me have an avenue that is limited to certain type of people. As I said, you cannot mix people of different interests. Last year demos, it was mainly centered on young people, not labeled as the Gen Zs. Why were there not majority old people? Because these young people felt that, you know what, I have been left out. My views was never heard. So why don't we modify and develop this concept of public participation to be inclusive in nature?
All right, fair enough. That's a really good point. Thank you for that. Let's hear some more views on the same. Sir, what's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? And what is your view?
Okay, thank you. My name is Joseph Moniki. I'm the former governor of the University of Nairobi, Faculty of Science and Technology.